Thank you, Lord Mayor. I rise to second the motion proposed by my colleague, Councillor Izzy Knowles. I too am hopeful of a consensus across the Chamber and that we can lead the way by being the first council in the West Midlands to support the Climate and Ecology Bill, as well as encouraging the remaining 6 MPs in our city to sign up. The natural world is complex and the role it plays in regulating the climate is often overlooked. Cuts in emissions from fossil fuels are only half the solution. Climate change accelerates biodiversity loss. At the same time, biodiversity loss exacerbates climate change, degrading nature's capacity to absorb and store carbon and adapt to the impacts of global heating. Other than the Climate and Ecology Bill, there is currently no other legislation that addresses the two sides of the coin together in an integrated approach. The Environment Act 2021 introduced a target to halt the decline in the abundance of species by 2030. But as the UK is one of the world's most nature-depleted nations, with more than 1 in 7 of our plants and animals facing extinction and more than 40% in decline, scientists are calling for much more ambition to halt and reverse the decline of nature, which is the target in the bill. Though I welcome the earlier route to net zero annual report, and I'm pleased that more than 40 houses in Stepford in my ward of Yardley East are part of the whole house retrofit pilot, I was surprised that just 4 pages, less than 10% of the document, dealt with nature, and in fact was barely touched upon by the Cabinet member's speech. Undoubtedly, there are a number of interesting specific projects and partnerships underway, such as improving wildlife habitats in the Upper River Ray with the Environment Agency and creating new pocket parks with the National Trust in East Birmingham. However, there also seem to be a lot of broader citywide plans and policies that are yet to be developed, such as the new local plan policy for nature recovery and a 5-year tree planting strategy. And certainly no mention of the on-the-ground issues which deplete nature and exercise residents in my ward, such as the use of glyphosate in Old Yardley Park, ignored requests to wildflower verges on the Meadway, and the increasingly common trend of paving over front gardens. The RHS, Royal Horticultural Society, launched its Greening Grey Britain campaign in 2015 after surveys revealed that 3 times more front gardens, or 1 in 4, were completely paved over compared to 10 years earlier. They believed then it was vital to reverse the trend of not growing any plants in our front gardens, to save our wildlife, mitigate against pollution and heat waves, and protect homes from flooding. I know the Planning Department has requirements in relation to porous materials being used, but surely more could be done in terms of policy as well as public awareness. Meaningful involvement of the public is another strand of the Climate and Ecology Bill. Bringing people along is considered essential for the unprecedented pace of change required, and it proposes a Climate and Nature Assembly. Nearly 100,000 Birmingham residents gave their views when they signed the Bee Friendly Brum petition to stop the use of glyphosate-based herbicide in our parks and public spaces in the summer of 2022. But what has the Council's response to its citizens been on this, as well as the latest call for no pesticide strategy by the Friends of the Earth Save Our Soil petition last October? We need action, not just assurances. I'd like to end with the words of, and in tribute to, the Birmingham poet Benjamin Zephaniah, who was a great lover of nature and who we lost unexpectedly before Christmas. Let's love up the place, green up the space. Thank you, colleagues. I ask you to support the motion.
Thank you. I have 3 men.